Xduoo. Making some of the nicest tube amps ever, as seen by the TA-30 and TA-20 and TA-10, and now TA-10R. And I was like, why did they do it? Because here's a TA-10. I have the TA-10. And they're like, well, no, we have an R. And they're like, oh, April's to send me the R. So here's the R. Why? And it ain't just the red paint job, although red paint job. So they've updated the DAC, because this is a combo DAC amp hybrid tube amp. And it means it's a one-stop shop. You can literally feed it fiber optic or coaxial digital or USB, and you're done. Just plug it into your computer, and you're done. You plug in your headphones, and you're done. Now, it has a balanced output, but I don't think it's a balanced amplifier, because it isn't, because the 20 was a balanced one, because the 20 has 2 tubes, and then the 30 has 3 tubes, and it's $700. So the 20 was really like the one to get, but now we're going back into the history, because here's the TA-10 with a tube that I have to put into this one now, for reasons, which I haven't turned this one on in a long while, so don't worry, baby, you'll come on. Yeah, this one had coaxial digital out and USB in only, which made it a little bit more difficult to deal with for what I like to do. This one, if I could spin it around, has coaxial out again, but also coaxial in and fiber in and USB in and line out, so you could actually retrieve the data the DAC is putting out for whatever purposes you want. You want to feed a speaker amp or something. They've also increased the screen size from this little dinky thing that has a red logo on it, a red sticker on it, to this actually nice like one. Although I will say at high speed volume changes, sometimes it doesn't go anywhere. It's like 36, 34, 30. So you got to sort of like take your time when you're adjusting the volume, just to get it going where it is. So they give you a 4-pin connector in the front for convenience sake. It isn't actually balanced. If I plug this in here, and then I plug this in here, which these are hard audio connectors, and then I could take the headphones I'm wearing, which by the way are a borrowed set of LCD-X. I have the new ones over there, but for right now we're using the borrowed set still, the originals. And now I unplug this and plug it here. I need the dot. I need the dot. There's no volume change. It's literally the same. It's just giving you the option if you have a balanced connector or not balanced connector. There should also be no appreciable sound difference. Maybe there is. Anyway, I'm trying to turn the volume too fast. Here's your little guard that goes on top. Magnetic, by the way. You don't have to put it in there, but I would recommend so you don't smash the tube. I love the red case. It's getting nice and warm now. It's been nice and toasty. And the point of this amplifier is to have your own DAC, to have a good solid state amp, and enough tube flavor. And one of the reasons this is a very special amplifier to me is because these exist. These are the Fostex TH909s. And they're a pain in the ass. I have many headphones, and some of them are easy and just carefree. Harmonic Zeus. If you don't know what headphone to get, spend $350, get the Harmonic Zeus, and you'll be happy. No matter what you plug it into, no matter what your tastes are, you'll be happy. The 909s, well, they'll make you happy too. But, you know, had to go with the Yaxi pads. These are the 900 Yaxi pads. And then you got to get a different wire. And this is a hard audio cable. It's in there now. And then you got to find the right amplifier, because they don't like certain amplifiers. They just sound harsh or shrill. But when you find the right amplifier, perfect. They're worth their $1,800 price tag. And the previously perfect amplifier was this one, but not with the stock tube. That is a 1950s vintage tube. The tube is 70 years old. Well, 60 something probably. Unless it was made in 50 and not like 52. That is an old ass tube that is swapped into a hybrid amp so that it has clean solid state and then the flavor, and then you're done. So This one is going to get that tube swapped into it, and then I'll take this tube and put it wherever. Because the upgrade to the DAC, which is, I love how APOS has a warning up. It says, due to the unfortunate fire at the AKM manufacturing facility in Japan. Well, that happened in Japan? I didn't know where the AKM factory was. They may run out of supplies in this because it uses the AKM 4493 EQ DAC, which is a decent DAC. That is a very decent DAC chip. And they're implementing all the ins and outs. So this is just a great upgrade, especially for $320, which is where this sits, I think, roughly. Because it's going to power just about everything. In fact, hold on. We are allowed on LCDX, like we are blisteringly loud at 50 on a quiet track. And I think this goes up until 70, 80. Jesus motherfucking God, 100. So let's lower that back down, as blisteringly loud at 50 means it'll blow up at 100. And it doesn't matter if you're using the balanced or unbalanced out, so let's just take this and put it to the side. Let's take these off now, because I have a couple things out here that I was playing with. I'm just going to show you the IMs. I totally whipped out the C Audio Neos because they're the best IMs. On also the hard audio cable. But now this is lower out because those are efficient. They're hard to drive, but they're efficient. It's weird. Even without the vintage 1950s tube, this is still going to be a winning combination. I can tell you that right now. It adds just enough like softness, any sort of like, even with the stock ass, usually shitty tube, it is tubifying the hell out of these. Actually, we're back up to like 45 in volume. That's another thing. You're getting consistency in volume. I'm going to switch inputs. Because if it's a tube amp, like a real full-on tube amp, like the Solaris, well, the Solaris is a little different because it's insane. But like the Dark Voice will detect, not through science, but through just source, how hard it is to drive a certain headphone, and you might have to crank it up or turn it down, or it'll sound fucking weird. A solid state hybrid should sound consistently good through everything you plug into. Now, Xduoo makes also those little baby ones. In fact, I'm getting the 604 soon, which has 4 tubes, and it's a little tiny one. It's so cheap. How is it so cheap? And the benefits to that versus this, or this versus that, is this is a much higher quality build. This thing's a brick. It gets nice and warm. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I don't know. And when it's cold and you're in a basement, warm is good. Like that. Oh, I switched inputs. So I have actually the Gashelli J2 there feeding into the line ins, and then coaxial straight off the same DAC over there, so that I can compare the two. And there is a slight difference in the way this sounds, but I cannot tell you for the life of me if I prefer one over the other. The internal DAC might sound a little bit more recessed, and this is a little more forward on the J2. But that was one of the things I said in the reviews of the TA-10, is that it's great, you could use this internal DAC, but it's got an old DAC, so just feed it externally and you'll be fine. So now at least you have the option to feed it itself without like, okay, $320 plus another 100 at least for a DAC. So you're just done at 310 or 320. I really, really, really need to switch this tube out to this one though, because I gotta know, because you could do it for cheap. Tubes like this, they even mentioned it on the fucking website, are like 30 bucks for like a good one. Look at it glow. That is not an LED glowing. That is legit. That is legit tube warmth. It is, I think it claims Class A for the rest of itself. Where does it say it? Yeah, Class A amplifier. The tube is in a 12AU7. Who cares about the sample rates? It doesn't decode MQA. What a piece of history. Not garbage. Gain 18 plus decibels. A package. It weighs 2.5 pounds, which is pretty good for a big chunk of aluminum like this. I feel like it might weigh more than that. God, it's sexy. I wish it had a couple more options. It's got the screen now. The screen, by the way, coaxial in bright yellow or dull yellow. Then the volume indicator, the kilohertz indicator, PCM is being detected. We hit this once, optical, hit it again, auxiliary in, which is what's feeding off the J2, just as aux in and volume. Hit it again, USB in, which I haven't tried. Although it will go to the screen, tell you it's PCM and 44.1, even though it's not hooked up. So it's like it's default. And then coaxial. I didn't have to switch this out into English either. The last one was like full-on Chinese before I could even tell you. TA-30. Oh my God, Tina Turner. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Beyond Thunderdome. One of the Living. Oh yeah. I mean, you have to literally like have a specific reason not to buy this. If you want full-on tube, it's always going to be Dark Voice or a little dot. Little dot mix a couple. I'll link one of the equivalent little dots with like multiple tubes. But when you're going hybrid, it's Xduoo. There's one or two shit products and they're good, but this is still more affordable than those, I think. There might be one hybrid somewhere in there. Did I review it? I did review it. What the hell was it called? I don't know my Norse mythology enough to just recall it like that. And it doesn't matter because none of the shit stuff is red, except for the heresy stuff. That's only on the sides, or it's black. So yeah, this thing is at least, I could guarantee you it's an upgrade from the original in both looks and functionality. They've actually made the corners a little bit tighter. You could switch. We could do this if you wanted to, and I could now have a custom black guard, even though it doesn't match the. It's not. Oh, it's a little looser. This is super tight. That's loose. Oh, this barcode here, this QR code. That's because this amp specifically came to RMAF in 2019, and I brought it specifically because I brought the 909s. So I wanted people to understand how good these headphones could be, because so many people were just like, 909s, it's not that good. Fuck you. I'll carry this in my carry-on. Although I think I shipped this to DMS in its original box. But anyway, I brought this all at RMAF to put these headphones on it. And if we did it again, which by the way, RMAF is now officially having an event because COVID vaccines are out, this would be the one I bring, with that tube in it, or maybe another tube. So yes, I approve. Everything that Xduoo makes is pretty much a winner, and especially when it comes to tubes. I'm waiting for them to make a tube hybrid portable to compete with like the Little Bear, but I'm pretty sure it'd be like $400 or $500 if they made one, which is not the worst case scenario, but still. So anyway, I'm gonna go back to listening to probably these IEMs, as they are the new hotness in my life, or shut this off. We got to give that a little bit to cool down, and then I can actually go swoop and then really have some fun. So yeah, that's it. Sorry for this like slow, calm, just walking through the motions. Walking through the motions on this review. Because it does as good a job as the previous revision, and if I'm not selling it to you harder than that, that's fine. Because you just know, if you want this already. I'm not telling you your world's gonna change in the world. Everything's gonna, oh my God, the whole world's covered in fucking rainbows and butterflies if you get this. But it certainly qualifies as a great piece of gear. So I'm done with it. You're done with it. You're done with me. You're done with that wallpaper. That's it. I'll see you on Patreon and Subscribe Star where you get to see these videos early. Fuck, do I have to yard sale one of these? But a yard sale the original, the vintage one, obviously with not that tube in it. Well, they have the box for this, and I can put this in this box. Keep this. But then I have the 20 there. Anyway, yard sales, 1st to 10th of every month. If you want to see reviews early, go there. If you want to join the $10 Patreon, Telegram, Subscribe Star tier, where you get into a behind-the-scenes chat on my phone, you can do that. If you want to ask me any questions, please join for that, because I will answer you on Telegram. I can't answer you on platforms, on Subscribe Star, on Patreon. It's just too many messages. So I've had to sort of like reduce the amount of people that are just up my ass. So I apologize. These are every other day videos now. If you'd like to see me every day, the unboxing channel, I think, is still doing every day. Although I think if the algorithm is pleased by every other day, I will switch that as well. We are all here to please the algorithm. Is the algorithm pleased? I don't know, sire. Feed it another virgin. Go. Well, that's it. Check out Hi-Fi Guides and Hi-Fi Guides forum. And yeah, I'll see you next month. I thought there was a fire and it's just the sun somehow coming through the little gap in that window into that. It's wild. All right, I'm gonna make a steak now.